welcome to Pharm To Home this morning with registered pharmacist Thomas McDowell with Rocky Mount Medical Park Pharmacy. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning. Did you have a happy new year?
I did. Yeah. It was pretty calm and low key. I missed the ball drop, but it's still good.
I did too. But it's good to be here and another year. It's always tough to go into when you've been off that many days. It's tough to get back into the saddle. So
yeah,
back
especially
in the
when it's
saddle.
30 degrees out.
I know.
It's an adjustment for sure.
Yes.
But glad to be here.
Well, glad you're here. This morning, Thomas is going to talk about a supplement, neuromagnesium. So, Thomas, I'll let you get started.
Yeah, so super excited to talk about this supplement. And we've talked about magnesium before on here, I believe, a while back. And I'm a big fan of magnesium. It's an over-the-counter supplement. If you hadn't heard much about it, you can get it at your local pharmacy. And there's a lot of different salt forms. And we touched on this in our last discussion when we spoke about magnesium. There's a lot of difference in the quality and the bioavailability, which is how well you absorb the magnesium. If you're taking something and you don't absorb much of it, it's really not doing you a whole lot of good. And so magnesium oxide, the oxide salt form, is the most common over-the-counter form. It's the cheapest, but the absorption is pretty limited. You get some benefit from it, but it's a little limited, and if you take higher doses of it, it can cause some GI upset as it passes through the body with limited absorption. And the one I touched on last time that I really like is magnesium glycinate. Different salt form, better absorption, and so I really like that salt form. So look at what you're buying, talk to your pharmacist about it, and just circling back to some of the benefits of magnesium. It's involved in close to 300 enzymatic processes in the body. So it's everywhere. It's affecting brain health, muscle health, blood pressure, relaxation, sleep even potentially. And the way it does that on the sleep side is it helps relax and prevent excess contraction of the muscles.
Right.
And so that can help you relax and help you fall asleep. There's been studies showing that it lowers blood pressure a little bit, not as much as an actual blood pressure medication, but if you're right there on the borderline of high blood pressure and not really wanting to start a prescription drug, you could consider magnesium.
So anybody can just take magnesium?
It's usually pretty safe to take.
Okay.
It's usually well tolerated. Of course, you can consider, and never a bad idea to ask your primary care provider to check your magnesium.
To check your levels.
Definitely want to take it if you're low.
Okay.
I see a lot of patients that get put on potassium because they're low in potassium, but really the problem is that they're low in magnesium, and
Wow.
those two go hand in hand as far as your body maintaining regularity. And so a lot of times if you boost up the magnesium, you can get off of the potassium, and that's a lot easier because potassium supplementation is prescription only.
Right.
The potassium you may see over the counter is not going to elevate your potassium substantially.
Right.
And you would have to eat a lot of bananas to get it up to a normal level, and we don't want to play around with our potassium.
Right.
Because if you get out of range on potassium, can cause heart arrhythmias, and it's very closely tied to electrical signals in the heart.
Oh, wow.
And so potassium's important, and if you just correct the magnesium, a lot of times the potassium will correct itself.
Oh,
and magnesium is a lot less risk with the supplementation.
So as you said, they work hand in hand, kind of.
They do, and so, but for the most part, you can go take an over-the-counter magnesium. I wouldn't overdo it.
Right.
Ease into it and see what symptoms you have, because it can cause some GI upset.
Talk to your pharmacist.
Yep. Talk to us about it. We can check your drug regimen and make sure that it doesn't interact with anything. And of course, if you have concerns about taking it, call us and call your provider and talk about it. It's an easy lab to draw, and it's one that if you're low, you might notice a lot of difference. And in the one supplement we're going to talk about today is a little different than your regular old magnesium oxide or even glycinate. So those are absorbed and utilized throughout the body. And of course, you can get magnesium through food. We talked about that as well, and that's always probably the best route. But if you're having a hard time eating those foods, don't like those foods, they're expensive.
What are some of those foods?
Some of them, are like leafy greens.
Okay.
Have magnesium in them, and I believe some nuts and
Okay.
healthy foods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the most part, what we consider to be healthy typically contains magnesium, and so if it contains a lot of your vitamins and a lot of your typical vitamins you would see in multivitamins, probably has some magnesium in there.
Right.
And so food is always the great option. Food is medicine. And so I strongly encourage folks to look into food. You can Google what foods have magnesium and take a look and try to buy those foods and eat them regularly. And you may notice some differences in your sleep and your relaxation. But one area that's a little harder to reach is the brain on magnesium. But we do need magnesium in the brain as well. And you're some of the supplements you're taking, like the glycinate or the oxide, are not crossing the blood-brain barrier.
Right.
And that's, our brain has a barrier that intentionally keeps out foreign substances to protect you.
Right.
But there's some medications that are designed to cross that barrier to provide benefit or to treat a condition. And so Neuromag is a supplement that we're carrying at our pharmacy, at Medical Park Pharmacy, that I'm really excited about. It's magnesium, but it's a specific chelated form that's called magnesium threonate. So instead of glycinate, threonate. And don't get too caught up in that part, but the main difference between the threonate and the other oxide and glycinate forms is that this Neuromag crosses the blood-brain barrier, and the other supplements that we mentioned don't.
Oh, wow.
And there's some data showing some potential benefit that this magnesium can support. The Neuromag can support cognitive function, memory, brain health.
And as we get older, a lot of people I talk to now, they're all hepped up and paranoid about Alzheimer's. And, feeding your brain. What can I do? Puzzles, whatever. What can I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to feed your brain, to help your brain, I would do it.
And staying sharp is key, and we've talked about this before, social interaction.
Yeah.
Puzzles,
Absolutely.
brain teasers. Staying sharp is important. Sitting at home and, just watching TV and not having a whole lot of exercise or eating healthy is not healthy for your
not gonna
brain.
do it.
You need to get outside. You need to exercise. If you can't, if your mobility is limited, you can still strive to eat well, and you can also crossword puzzles, word searches, read. Just reading is great. And so those are easy, low-hanging fruit ways that are low cost to potentially no cost. But if you're looking for something that can help support cognitive function, this Neuromag is a great option. And the reason I like it is it's natural. Magnesium is a naturally occurring substance that is in food and in the environment. It's something that we need. There's tons of data showing how magnesium works in the body, and most people are low in it. The American diet is low in magnesium.
Wow.
Fast food, fries and burgers, you're not getting much magnesium.
Right.
From processed foods, and carbs, of course, have no magnesium or no vitamins whatsoever unless they're fortified.
Wow. And half the world carbs. It's so hard to eat and not eat carbs.
Yeah.
That is just tough, but we need to be more aware of that. Now, I'm glad you said that. So carbs have no magnesium benefit at all.
Yeah, and they, and I'm not 100% anti-carbs, but because they do provide energy if you're not sedentary.
Yeah, you've got to have some.
You got to have some carbs. And so you need some. So if you look at a healthy plate, half of it is, your meat or protein, and then you got to, or you've got some vegetables, some fruits, and some carbs, or starch. So it's not like you can't eat carbs, but they don't typically provide a whole lot of value when it comes to vitamins, minerals, nutrients. It's mainly energy. You're converting those carbs into energy. But if you aren't moving and you're not active, then your body doesn't really know what to do with those carbs. And that's when you're running the risk of, over a long period of time, elevated blood glucose, blood sugar, and that's when
Right.
we're talking about type 2 diabetes, which is preventable for the most part.
Mhm.
And so, I really like brain health options. We get a ton of
Yes.
questions about them. What can I do for my
I
memory?
bet.
I just feel like I'm a
Yeah.
little slower than I used to be.
Absolutely.
And that's somewhat normal with age, but in a world where there's a lot of folks taking, and mostly younger folks taking, ADHD medications, and there's a lot of supply chain issues with these medications that people may have heard about on the internet or in the news. Adderall, Vyvanse, Ritalin, incredibly hard to source some of these drugs.
Yes.
The manufacturers are just struggling to keep up with the demand. If you're looking for something different or you're not wanting to start those medications, you could try this magnesium 3-in-8, and it's a great option for adults or folks above 18 typically. And there's a lot of folks 18 and older that are taking ADHD medications. This is something you can try if you're looking for an alternative, and it's crossing the blood-brain barrier. It's helping you with sharpness and mental acuity, and potentially supporting memory. So
Wow.
we just got it in. I'm super excited about it. And if you have questions about it, we have it in stock at Medical Park Pharmacy. We're at 901 North Winstead Avenue, Suite 100, in the Medical Park building, often referred to as the Boyce Willis Clinic building on Winstead, big 5-story building. We're right there on the first floor, and so we'd love to help you. We're going to be getting this out on our e-commerce site that we're working on.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to buy this online pretty soon if you go to our website.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not there yet, but RockyMountainMedParkRx.com.
Walk right in and get
You
it.
can come in and get it, or you can even buy it online here soon in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. But really excited about it, and we're going to try to have more supplements in the pharmacy and online, and we're going to talk about some more in the future.
That's wonderful.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people buying supplements, but they don't know who to buy from or who to trust. And
Right.
so,
And if you're going to take something, then take something that's going to benefit you, not something that your body's not going to absorb and giving you no benefit. If you've got to take it, don't just be taking it for nothing.
yeah,
I mean-
and there's a lot of stuff out there, when you're talking about over-the-counter supplements, they're not as nearly as tightly regulated as prescription
Right.
drugs. There is some FDA oversight about making claims.
Right.
You can't make any claims that it cures diseases unless there's research backing it up, and the FDA's allowed you to. But there's a lot of difference in manufacturing practices, so you want to make sure that you're buying from a reputable company. If you're just picking up the cheapest thing over at the dollar store,
Right.
I can tell you might not be getting what you think you're getting as
Right.
far as the quality and the potency. You're not getting the bang for your buck, and it doesn't mean you have to spend a ton of money on everything, but look at what you're buying, and there's even notations on supplements where it'll say we follow good manufacturing practices, processes, and you want to make sure that it's produced in a reputable manufacturing facility. If you look online, they have a lot of research and data on their supplements and how they're producing it, manufacturing it. So this one is from Designs for Health, which super reputable company. They have a ton of patient education and resources and data backing up their products.
That's good.
And so, they're not putting anything out there that they don't believe in, and we're not putting anything out there that we don't believe in. So, really excited about this supplement, and we'd love to counsel you and educate you on your over-the-counter supplements, or if you're taking something and you're wondering if it interacts with some of your prescriptions, come talk to us, call us. Our number's 252-443-7979. That's 252-443-7979 at Medical Park Pharmacy here in Rocky Mount, and we look forward to serving you in the new year. And also, I'll touch real quick, if you have insurance questions, call us, because first of the year is a crazy time.
Yes.
When everybody's insurance changes, co-pays change, deductibles start over. Have some grace with your pharmacy, be patient. We're working really hard to efficiently take care of you and make sure your medications are covered. So we're really excited to serve you in the new year, and if you're looking for a new pharmacy, somebody that treats you like a person instead of just a number, and you're tired of waiting in line all day for your medicine, there's a better way. Call us. We'd love to serve you.
Very good, Thomas. I hope some of you will, I always talk about your relationship with your pharmacist. Have a relationship with your pharmacist, your pharmacy techs, your pharmacist. Have a relationship. I had a lady, I'll tell this story real quickly, had a lady that had, I think, like 3 N95 masks. She said it was even better than that. But anyway, older population are wearing masks now because there's a lot of sickness going on. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Oh, where did you get those?" And she said, "I can't tell you." She said, "It's my secret." And she said, "I have a connection." I said, "Okay." She said, "It was my pharmacist. He looks after me." Mm-hmm. And that's exactly, what a pharmacist relationship can do. You cannot always get to your doctor. Your doctor's busy seeing 60 patients a day. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out.
Yeah.
But, you can always access your pharmacist. And so please have a relationship. Any questions you have, certainly they have gone to school for this. For medicines, a lot of physicians will say, ask your pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
They'll even say, ask your pharmacist.
Yeah, we always say choose your pharmacist like you choose your doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
You should, and you deserve and should have a relationship with your pharmacist. Mm-hmm. And if you feel like you can't, or if they don't have time, it may not be their fault specifically if they're working at somewhere that is understaffed, or they don't have the time. Mm-hmm. But you deserve better than that, and
right.
So seek out a pharmacy that can help you. And if you have insurance, typically the cost of your medications is the same no matter where you go. And actually at an independent pharmacy, the cash prices are typically significantly lower than a big box chain store, believe it or not. Most people think otherwise, but our cash prices are really affordable and reasonable. We're trying to make sure that we're not scalding anybody with some inflated cash prices. So we'd love to help you.
Thank you, Thomas.
All right. Thanks, Sandra.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll be right back with you right after this.